Well, I just bought a brand new NAS as part of my backup solution, but I found I needed more ports on my wireless router. It's got two 10 gig ports, but I really need more like three. So what do you need? Well, you need a switch. So I've got two options. I'm hoping that this one will work the best because it features five 10 gig ports. Now, I won't be able to get five 10 gig ports to run all at once. Realistically, I only need 2.5 gig, which is what this one is, but this gives me better future capabilities. And the whole reason why I don't need a truly 10 gig switch is because I'm going to be using spinny disk hard drives in the NASs, so the transfer speeds are going to top out around 300 megabytes per second. So that's more like 2.5 gig, 5 gig switching, but this will be able to do 1 gig, 2.5, 5, and 10 gig. The reason I question it is because on Amazon reviews, one of these units said intermittent dropouts, while the D-Link over here did not have any of those problems, but it relegates me to 2.5 gig, but the port into this device is 10 gig, so splitting that out means that there's no speed loss, but more limited capability with this one. So let's open this one up first and see how it does. If this one doesn't work out, then I'll be taking a look at that one. So while I'm opening this up, I went with an unmanaged switch simply because I didn't specifically need a managed switch. And well, there aren't that many 10 gig ones on the market. So it just led me to this particular product because I don't need to manage it. It's going to connect into my router anyways. All right, so far packaging seems good. Open it up. Good foam padding on the edge. And we got the utility box with probably the power outlets right there. All right, here it is. It's got the ports on the back and the focus. There we go. It has the different speeds it can do and different lighting patterns to indicate what sort of mode it's currently operating in, power and system, and the power plug on the back. Very simple design, no fans. So that means it should be very quiet. Now, if you are curious, here's the D-Link next to the ThreadNet. They are approximately the same size. The D-Link is a little bit bigger. The port's on the back, so if you do need to hook up more devices and 2.5 gig speeds, the D-Link might be a better choice. But since the main focus is the ThreadNet right now, we're going to focus on it. Metal housing, a couple of just screws on the top if you really need to access it, a couple more screws on the back. Sorry, my focus just went out of focus. Nice open design, open flow. The bottom of it just has the serial number on it. And of course the plugs. All right, we're gonna plug it in. As a note, I really don't have the capability to test its full speed. So instead, the testing is mainly gonna be, does it drop its connection, which was the main concern. All right, to start off with, I just have my PC and that's it. The black one is the internet, the white one is to the PC. And it looks like I've got internet in the PC, so far it's working. All right, I wanted to give a little bit of a few update for how the speeds are going. So it's been running for a couple days now, and the integrity check on the new NAS has finished. So now taking a look at how fast it's going. So it is at 53%, and we can see that it is operating at 200 plus megabytes per second. Now, if I had an SSD caching, I could get speeds faster because it would cache into the SSD first. Same with using the old NAS, the DS1819 Plus. So there is some limitation there. It's just functioning with the hard drives, with the way the RAID works. But this is sufficient, and this is why more than regular 1 gig LAN kind of is an advantage, because it just allows it to operate much faster. Internet speed test. This is plugged directly into my router as opposed to through that switch, brand new. So we're going to just see the speeds. I don't expect to see any difference, but we're going to be checking the latency and the ping to see if there's any variations there. So we'll just let this finish up. It should take only a couple more seconds. And I have pretty fast internet, but maybe not super extreme. So we'll just see what it does. Couple more seconds here, and all right, it's close. 557.43 and 22.87. There's going to be variation between one test to the next, so we're looking at it for it to be generally close to the same. All right, we are now hooked up to the switch. We're going to hit go and see what kind of results we get this time. Again, there's going to be some variation, so you got to take that with a little bit of grain of salt. All right, there are the speeds. They're getting right up there, close to the same. So that's right in line with what we saw last time. And the uploads, I don't expect any variation here. And well, there we go. That's right in line with what we saw last time, the ping at 21. Download, upload. So bring it up. I have the previous run open. So the download speed, technically slightly slower, but like I said, run-to-run variance. The ping is a little bit different, but I bet if I ran it enough times, we would see almost no variation. This is a little bit higher, that's a little bit lower. Overall, you're perfect for gaming. You're not going to notice any difference whatsoever. All right, we're going to do an internet speed test for the D-Link switch. We're going to see how it does. A little bit of lag there. Right now I got a few things running in the background, but we'll see if the ping works. And also I'm checking it on a different day at a different time of day. So we're just gonna, check to see if the numbers make sense. And so far they're looking just fine, especially when we compare to the previous results. Right, now we're gonna do a transfer speed test. Right now we've got the D-Link hooked up and it's gonna be transferring to my Synology NAS and we're gonna see what kind of performance we get. Here are the speeds. 265, 66, 68 megabytes per second. That is what we would expect from a 2.5 gig connection, 2.5 GBE connection. Now, a couple notes about this. I don't have an SSD in my NAS, so the performance is just the performance that I'm getting out of the hard drives. So that is the limiting factor. If I had an SSD, I'd really be able to check, like fully check. But this means that it would fully be utilized, fully working for what I want to be able to do. I've got the Tren Nuet, the other one that's got the full 10 gig ports hooked up. We're going to be copying and pasting to my Synology NAS again. I'm honestly not expecting really any speed difference. Oh, well, okay. We are seeing an extra, so now it's at 330 megabytes per second. So we are seeing about a, 80 megabyte increase in performance as compared to the other one. So having that 10 gig speed does open up the door a little bit more, even considering just hard drives transferring to it. So that is a pretty impressive result. Okay, we're going to do the data test speed to the DS1819 Plus. This is going from the laptop to a 5 GBE into my 10 gig switch, then from the switch to the router to the NAS, all of that at 10 GBE. Those connections at 10 GBE, but since the laptop is restricted to 5, then the maximum speed we are expecting would be around that 5. Performance should be around 300 megabytes per second. 250 to like 320 is what I would expect because I don't have a SATA SSD inside the NAS. So it's just writing directly to the hard drives and we are seeing 315, 312 megabytes per second. We're going to pause this one. And we're going to go over to the DS1821 Plus. This is going from the laptop, again, the 5 GBE. Then it's going to the switch. Then it probably relays into the NAS. From the NAS, back
to the NAS. We should be expecting, what do you know? It's actually slightly faster. That variance could be because of hard drives installed, the amount of data on the hard drives. This is the backup one, so it's got a little bit of compression in that, so it might have a little bit of extra space, so the performance is slightly higher. So that is a great result. I used a 10 gig for the backup between one NAS and the other, and it seemed to do just fine, but it could have in the background dropped, come back, dropped, come back. It's really hard to know. So I'm doing life testing right now with it. So where was I going with this? Oh, so the quality of that connection matters. I just finished doing basic baseline testing, and now I'm checking reliability of this one. And if it doesn't work out, I plan on using the D-Link here. There are advantages and disadvantages to each of them. The TrendNet there has faster speeds, while the D-Link has better reviews. So preferably I would use the TrendNet, but if it doesn't work out, I would use the D-Link right there as the alternative. It maxes out with 2.5 G speeds, while the TrendNet maxes out at 10 G speeds. So realistically, I would be losing only around 100 megabytes per second because of hard drive speeds over the wire to the NASs, but that's like 30% of the speed right there. Now, if you are talking SSDs going to your NAS, then the speeds will be different because then an SSD can actually utilize that 10 gig speed. And the TrendNet there is the one I'd like to go with again, but I just need to make sure that it doesn't have any dropouts. And then we'll port in and see how things look. All right, this is the final update I'm going to do on this switch. I've been using it in this vertical orientation here for about, I want to say, a month and a half now, and I haven't experienced any problems at all with using it. No dropouts, no disconnections, no nothing. So I can attest for this vertical orientation that allows for the heat to basically travel vertically through it, working really well. However, in any other orientation, I cannot attest to that. So I think it's a good product. It's working for me. But I just wanted to give that caveat because the orientation may or may not matter. It's something that's outside of the testing we're going to be doing. Anyways, thank you very much for watching Computer Tech and More. This is a one-off video for me. I am not a networking expert, so this is outside my normal purview and forte. So I hope I explained it best enough and did the kind of practical testing that I personally am capable of doing. Anyways, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.